The following is a presentation of TNT Sports.
You got to think of these games as like playing against your friend that you've been playing against, you know, for 10 years. And every time you play, you know, something might happen. You might get a busted lip, you might get a cut on the eye or something like that. But, you know, it's after the game is over with, you know, both people gave their all.
Down this road before. This clutch match series between Miami and New York takes another turn tonight. The New York Knicks are coming off perhaps their biggest win of the season, which sets the stage for the biggest game of the series tonight. It's now the best of three, and tonight, Game 5 at the spectacular new American Airlines Arena. The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. And welcome to the circus that is this New York Knicks-Miami Heat playoff rivalry. These teams have done the same dance now for 4 consecutive years. Same moves, same steps. Each team winning a game here and there, but no team putting together consecutive wins. In fact, they've played 21 playoff games against each other. And New York has won 11. Miami has won 10. Pretty even so far. Danny Ainge, let's turn to you and talk about what you might see in terms of adjustments for both teams tonight.
Well, Kevin, this is not a game of adjustments. It's not a game of X and O's. This is a game of the fewest mistakes. It's a game of mistakes, and the difference in Game 4 were the mistakes made by Miami on the turnovers. They did a good job of flooding Alonzo Mourning down in the paint, forcing him to make decisions. Here you see 3 New York Knicks players surrounding him, and a 4th one coming over for the block, which enables New York to get in the open court. Here, Chris Childs with a wide-open 3 in transition. 19 Miami turnovers lead to 28 points. Alonzo Mourning, 9 turnovers. Again, New York's defense all over, swarming him, forcing Alonzo to be the playmaker. And this is the detriment for the Miami offense. They cannot let Alonzo Mourning to get, or they cannot allow Sprewell to get in the open court in transition, or he'll kill him.
He has done that in the past, too. Well, to talk about the 2 smallest players in this series having a big effect, let's talk to the tallest broadcaster in the NBA, and John Thompson. Of course, talk about Tim Hardaway on one side and Charlie Ward on the other. Hardaway continues to start, John. Pat Riley believes in him, even though he is hobbled.
Well, he has to believe in him because you're looking for Tim Hardaway to set the tone, Kevin. He's the leader. He wants to set the pace. Even though he's having trouble with his foot, it's extremely important that Miami gets off on the right foot, and Hardaway is the one to do that. But you can look for Anthony Carter to come in very quickly to try to counteract the speed of the New York backcourt.
John, who would have guessed that Charlie Ward would be the offensive presence in this series that he's been?
Well, it's a surprise to everybody, simply because of the fact that Charlie Ward has always been Mr. Hustle. He's always been a guy that gives you everything that he needs. But now he's had newfound offense. He's got to consistently do that, and more importantly, what he's got to do is lead this New York team as a Heisman Trophy winner that he was.
Well, with all the intense emotions in this series, we have finally dug up a sense of humor, and it comes from Miami Heat center Alonzo Mourning on this rivalry.
Jeff was the coach of the All-Star game this year in Oakland, and we kind of reminisced about the moment, we laughed about it, man, and you know, and it's good when we both can look back on that, man. We're 2 adults, 2 grown men can look back on that and say, hey, you know, it was a big mistake, but it was funny, you know, it was funny.
The glistening American Airlines Arena here in Miami. Welcome to the playoffs on TNT. Tonight, the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks in Game 5. And here are tonight's Gatorade starting lineups. Charlie Ward, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Patrick Ewing, and Larry Johnson for New York. And for the Miami Heat, Tim Hardaway will start with Dan Marley, Jamal Mashburn, Alonzo Mourning, and P.J. Brown. And let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Kevin. We have yet to tip off, but it is already Alonzo Mourning's night. Moments ago, Zoe received the Defensive Player of the Year for the second consecutive season. He had nearly 4 block shots a game, 294 total, and presenting the trophy, number 6, the #1 defensive player of all time, Bill Russell, who told Zoe, "I love the way you play because you come to play every night." And Alonzo does it at both ends. One of only 4 players in the history of the award to not only be named Defensive Player of the Year, but to lead his team in scoring. Kevin?
Great report, Craig. Thank you very much. And John Thompson, here's a kid you recruited. You've known him since a little boy. He played at Georgetown. You must feel awful proud.
Well, I do, because I think he's earned what he's gotten. He's worked extremely hard, and it's important for me that Bill Russell gave that to him, because I think Russell has meant a lot to the defensive end of the ball.
The New York Knicks have won 5 of the last 8 playoff games in Miami. And Miami has won 4 of the last 7 in New York. Go figure. If you take a look at our playoff note, neither team has won consecutive games in the last 9 meetings. Our officials tonight, Joe Crawford, Mike Callahan, and Terry Durham. And we are underway in Game 5. Hardaway finds Mourning, who's picked up by Patrick Ewing, and the shot clock at 10. Hardaway with Ward defending. The drive into a double team, knocked away by Houston, picked up by Sprewell, and a foul called on Miami. And it's on Jamal Mashburn for the first time.
Now, this is the most energy I've seen New York come out in a game and start with this kind of intensity. Double teaming. Alonzo anticipating the double team. They still could not make a pay. Shot clock down. Tim Hardaway could not create a shot.
And here comes Charlie Ward, the hero of Game 4, Sunday at Madison Square Garden. Ewing against Mourning. Patrick had 12 on Sunday. Allen Houston from outside. Knocks in a 2.
Well, that's a good sign. It's a good pass by Patrick. He was patient. He threw it out. Houston rotated over and got the shot. And I think that's extremely important to get Houston started early in this ball game.
Here's Mourning with the hook. Defending was Ewing. Danny, we just saw Patrick Ewing get his first assist of the series.
Well, because he demanded a double team. They got him the ball early on the clock. He penetrated with his back to the basket, got the double team, and here Houston returns the favor.
And Patrick knocks it down.
And he needs to make that shot right there, because when Sprewell and Houston are penetrating, there's a lot of flooding of the paint, creating that open shot for Patrick.
Patrick Ewing very involved early in the game.
Well, and it's important for him to get started early, but it's also important for them to give assists to each other, because that's the thing where confidence will come from. If these guys are passing the ball, getting open shots, it's very important to see how Charlie Ward gets started, though, also, Kevin.
And he's had good starts last couple of games. And Miami needs a good start tonight from Jamal Mashburn.
Right, and I like the way Mashburn scored the shot off a lot of movement coming off a weak side pin down, because they've been isolating him with the mismatches, but he's done much better in this series when he's been able to score off of movement.
And Marley picks up his 31st rebound of the series, leading everybody in that category. Mashburn again, dancing on Sprewell, and knocks down a second consecutive shot.
Well, they've got to get out on him. I mean, he's hitting these shots, he's getting a good start, but you've got to jam him. You can't afford to let him start off and have a good night, and then Alonzo gets going also.
Inside, Houston tried to find Larry Johnson.
Right here, you see Mashburn doing a good job of moving without the ball. He starts on the weak side. He comes off a double of PJ and Mourning. And this is where I like Mashburn more, moving off the screen downs where he can put the ball, shoot, or take it to the basket.
E.J. Brown just picked up his first foul for the Miami Heat. A deceptive move by Ward, driving inside, can't get it to go. Rebound by Brown, the hobbled Hardaway the other way for Miami.
Well, the interesting thing, Charlie Ward did penetrate with a lot of confidence, and that's important.
E.J. Brown had a hand on it. It's off Miami, and New York will take it the other way. And this shot outside by Tim Hardaway.
And that's the shots they need. You know, Tim is not the same player he was, but he can make those open threes. Him and Marley have been shooting miserably from the outside. They need some contribution from those guys, because the defense of New York is just guarding the paint.
We just saw both teams have started 2 of 4. Sprewell, deceptive move by Mashburn, and he knocks his first shot down.
Well, it was a great fake. He showed him a ball fake. He pulled up. He didn't go all the way in, plow it in. Sprewell definitely has to get going for the Knicks, because he's the one who initiates a lot of their offense.
Mashburn not afraid to shoot tonight. It was a two-point shot. It was his first miss of the game, and it's out of bounds, and Miami will get it back.
This is a great shot by Sprewell. He gets the ball in the medium post right there where he's very successful. Pump fakes, but you can see how much emphasis the Miami defense has on him right there. Beautiful shot over a triple team.
And Danny, that's his game. He can make those kind of moves.
Right, and he's an in-between type of scorer, slasher. But that's important for him to make that medium-range jump shot.
Mashburn missing right there. He's 2 of 4 starting. Dancing with the defense of Sprewell. A Miami turnover. 4-on-2. It's off to Ward. Nice pass by Allen Houston.
Well, and I like the fact that Ward filled the lane, particularly for a point guard. A lot of times he'll hang back and wait for the ball, and then he went to Brown, extremely aggressive, Kevin.
Mourning, grinding with Patrick Ewing inside. The hook won't go. A rebound by Ewing. His first of the game. Sprewell. Larry Johnson and Brown down low. Now the switch. They got Brown on Sprewell.
It's a mismatch right there. He trying to take it down low, see if they can get a double team.
Shot clock at 4 with the 3. Launched from outside. Rebound by Alonzo Mourning.
Well, the crowd is reacting to Patrick fouling Alonzo. It's the second foul that Patrick's gotten away with. He's got to be very careful because he pushed under the basket on Brown.
Streaking the other way, Sprewell with the steal and 2 points. And Danny, that's exactly what you talked about.
Yeah, getting Sprewell in the open court. The basket becomes bigger every lay-in he makes, and you don't want to get him on a roll, and it's all set up with the turnovers.
The Miami Heat have turned the ball over 3 times in the first couple minutes of the game.
And right here, good help off the weak side by Patrick, flooding the paint on Hardaway's penetration. And this is where nobody will catch up with Sprewell in the open court, one of the fastest guys in the league.
It's the Knicks, 10-4, up by 6.
And here we see a lot of turnovers by Miami in the early going, and a Game 5 adjustment right here. You see Sprewell's going to jump up and push Mashburn down on the pick and roll, and Larry Johnson's going to protect the paint as they come over and set the wing pick and rolls. And a big adjustment for New York. Mashburn doesn't adjust to it, is anticipating the trap by the New York defense. Sprewell gets a hand on the ball, and then again, they get in the open court and convert on the easy fast break.
7.5 to play in the first quarter. Here comes Tim Hardaway to Marley, swinging it off to Mashburn. And the ball rotation good by Miami. They tried a 3. Ewing gets his second rebound tonight.
You saw no Miami players in the paint for an offensive rebound opportunity. All of them outside the yellow paint.
Well, and that combined with turning the ball over, they're just setting the Knicks stage for the Knicks to be able to run.
Latrell Sprewell has started the game 3 of 3.
Well, and it's extremely important. Miami's got to take care of the ball, Kevin, on offense. They're throwing the ball away, and as Danny indicated, they didn't get a lot of movement, and they're short, and they're shooting the ball up. That makes it easy for the Knicks to rebound. The Knicks want to run on this team.
Mourning with the fadeaway, and it won't go, and the rebound is pulled down by Sprewell.
Well, this is an example. I mean, they're throwing up shots, they're missing those shots, and then the Knicks are getting fast breaks. That's the Knicks game. They want to run. They don't want to play against the Miami set defense.
Danny Sprewell has hit all 4 of his shots, and a timeout taken by Miami.
And the reason that Pat Riley's calling that timeout is to run the pick and roll. Tim Hardaway was surprised by the defense that New York ran right there. They got to make the adjustment, and you just can't let Sprewell get in the open court again. You know, the basket just gets bigger. Those medium-range jump shots start falling for him when he's able to get in the open court and make the easy lay-ins.
John, we talked to Pat Riley today, and he conceded there is very little room for error for his Miami Heat.
Well, it can't be. I mean, they've got to be careful, and particularly in handling the basketball. I mean, they can't get to the point that they get out there and miss shots and have a lot of turnovers, and then if they get out rebound, they have a problem. That throws the game right in the Knicks' hands because the Knicks want to run. They do not want to play against Miami's half-court defense.
And they can rebound well enough to run.
Absolutely.
I will say that the adjustments that Jeff Van Gundy has made on the pick and roll has caused some of this frustration right now, and it caused Pat Riley to call 2 timeouts early in this game.
Ward picks up Hardaway. Here's P.J. Brown, much taller than Larry Johnson.
Well, that was a great decision. They went to Alonzo a couple of times. He's missed the shot. They exploited the advantage that Brown has over Johnson's hot side.
A nice 10-2 run constructed by the New York Knicks. Nice defense by Miami inside. And here comes Tim Hardaway at the halfway point of an exhilarating first quarter from Miami. Mourning left uncovered now. Drives down the lane and can't convert. It's Mashburn outside, but a fresh 24.
Well, and Patrick made a smart move that time because Alonzo's a lot quicker. Rather than stick his knee out, and then he fouls him. But rather than stick his knee out, he let him go, and Alonzo was surprised by how open he was.
And here's the defensive player of the year in the NBA.
Well, look how much quickness Sprewell has. He just explodes by Mashburn. Hardaway can't do anything. Alonzo comes all the way from the weak side. One of the few guys that can contest at the rim, get there quick enough to stop Sprewell on the dunk.
Well, and then even though Alonzo blocked that shot, it's a great sign that Sprewell is going that aggressively towards Alonzo, because eventually some fouls will be called with the amount of contact that has to be made.
Well, Patrick Ewing has just picked up his second personal foul. To take a look at Bill Russell, he's won some hardware in his career and presented the NBA Defensive Player of the Year trophy before the game to Alonzo Mourning.
And I think that big fella knew a little bit about blocking shots.
Have you ever met Bill Russell, Coach?
Never in my life.
John Johnson, the backup for Russell in Boston in the 60s. The New York Knicks are shooting 63% from the field.
Yeah, because they're getting easy baskets in transition, and those are so critical for this New York team.
Sprewell, 4 of 5. Corkscrew jump shot while double team. The rebound by Alonzo Mourning.
But I tell you what, he's coming out very aggressive. Danny was absolutely correct. This Knicks team is extremely aggressive offensively right now.
P.J. Brown hits the side of the backboard. Rick Allen Houston bringing down the rebound. Right now, Miami leads in rebounding 7-4. Allen Houston from outside. The big guards, the big-time scorers for New York are hitting.
And it's because they're creating tempo. They're not letting Miami just get set in their defense where Marley can hold him. Everything is off the move in transition.
Driving inside is Tim Hardaway, accelerating. And had to feel very good for him.
Well, absolutely, particularly because he's having trouble with his foot. But that's why you asked at the top of the show, why is Hardaway out here? That's why he's out here. Even with the disadvantage of his foot, he got him a basket when they need a basket.
Sprewell and Houston have combined for 6 of 8 from the field. Sprewell, Charlie Ward, a 3. Ward right between the eyes.
Well, you know, and Pat Riley told us before the game, you know, they don't want to let Charlie Ward shoot, but they obviously they'll care if he shoots more than having Larry Johnson play one-on-one because they continue to double team the post.
Charlie Ward knocks down his 8th three-point shot in this series. P.J. Brown. Sprewell aggressively climbs the ladder.
Well, interestingly enough, Riley tried to slow him down so they could run something set because they've got to make some shots to stop this fast break of the Knicks.
So with Ewing on the bench and a couple fouls, Kurt Thomas is in, and a knockaway by Sprewell, whose hands got him in trouble there. And a foul called on Sprewell for the first time tonight. They're going to bring in Carter and take out Hardaway, but moments ago, Hardaway showing flashes of his old self.
Well, right here, Charlie's not respecting him very much, and Larry Johnson, normally that's a play they trap, but Timmy, who has not been able to get to the basket, I think has lulled him to sleep, and he has shown more energy in the first quarter of this game than any other of this series.
So here comes the rookie, Anthony Carter, in the game.
Well, you put speed in the game. The Knicks have been running, and now that you got a guy like Carter who can slow down that transition a little bit, but Miami has to make some shots, take some time to make some shots in their half-court offense.
Marley with the 3, and he takes, Danny, so many three-point shots in this series.
36 out of his 46 shots are from the three-point line, but that's his job, to space the floor, because they're going to Mashburn and Mourning. And Dan's just got to make some. He's a great three-point shooter. He's made a lot of big ones in his career, has struggled, and I think a lot of it is because he's put so much emphasis on his defense against Houston in this series.
Mourning snaps it out to Carter, who slashes inside, can't find the 2. Offensive rebound by P.J. Brown. Kicks it back to Marley. Another 3.
That was a great shot by Dan Marley, but you have to give PJ a lot of credit because he got the offensive board and also found Marley on the perimeter with a good pass. I like the way PJ is stepping up because right now Miami is struggling.
And a foul called on Marley for the first time tonight.
Right there, but you know, that was all set up by Carter's penetration right there. Camby went over to block the shot. Wide open shot for Marley off of the second chance points, and those are huge in this series.
Miami has never led. The New York Knicks have led by 10. New York up by 6 now, 19-13. On Sunday, Game 4, Charlie Ward turned in perhaps his biggest game as a New York Knick.
He's doing a great job. He's not just only knocking down the threes at a high percentage, he's getting to the basket, and he's doing it in clutch situations, creating his own offense off the dribble, breaking down Miami's defense in both of their wins. He's had a great series so far.
Well, and usually, Danny, he looks to pass the ball around and not look for his shots, but now he seems to be so aggressive out here now. I mean, look at this. He's looking for his shot. Usually, you look at Charlie, Kevin, he's looking to pass the ball. He's standing out, but I love this aggressive Charlie Ward.
He was coached by his dad in high school in Georgia. He went to a junior college, then to Florida State, where he won the Heisman Trophy. Before he was in the NBA, he played a short time in the USBL before the Knicks made him a #1 choice.
Yeah, Charlie has just got by with his hard work and his knowledge of the game. He's got great vision as a way of, winning the Heisman Trophy at the quarterback position, but his confidence is growing also because he's getting more minutes. And 31 minutes in this series is more than he's played all year.
The shot clock is showing 5 as Marley is guarding Houston, and a foul called on Dan Marley for the second time.
Well, actually, it's been quite a series between these two, but if you really looked at that close, Dan probably fouled him for the 5th time before the first one was called. But Dan does it with such a placid look on his face that he's not in a position where he shows a lot of emotion until the foul was made.
And Danny, you know all about Dan Marley. You played with him in Phoenix.
Yeah, and I understand his frustration because, you play basketball that way all year, and, they don't call those, and all of a sudden you get one and you have to go to the bench. So frustration at the same time. He does use his arms a lot to defend Sprewell.
All right, Bruce Bowen now is coming for Marley. Shot clock at 3. It's Sprewell to Canby. A miss inside. Rebound by Thomas, who is replacing Ewing with 2 fouls. Houston takes it toward the circle, and Bowen is right there. Almost a mirror image of Marley on defense. And a foul called on Bowen. So Houston has gotten 3 fouls out of the players Miami is designated to guard him tonight.
Well, he's gotten 3 fouls, and that's good. But I tell you what, he won't get a lunch break tonight because you go from Dan Marley to Bowen on you. You're in for it, buddy. If you're not aggressive and you're not moving and using screens, you're in trouble tonight.
And it's obviously a concerted effort by the officials to clean up the game because there's not been a lot of scoring in this series. There's been a lot of physical play, and they want to get the hand checks off and establish the game, and Joey Crawford has done a good job of establishing it early. Don't touch the guys on the perimeter.
Allen Houston, the Olympian, and a first-time All-Star. 6 points for Houston. Sprewell with 8. They lead the Knicks in scoring. Owen trying to pry his way inside with a pass and finds Mashburn, who is suddenly doubled. A feed inside, thrown away. Another Miami turnover, number 4. The Knicks have not turned the ball over all night long. Miami has 4, New York has none.
And it just can't happen, Kevin. Miami's got to take care of the basketball because you're playing right into the hands of the Knicks. If you don't take care of the ball in your half-court offense, the Knicks will be running all night long and won't have to play against their defense.
And you got to give the Knicks a lot of credit because they are the aggressors at the defensive end. The double teams are what's causing the turnovers by Miami.
Here's Houston, picked up by Bruce Bowen, a journeyman player who plays for the minimum, but he defended well that time. And here comes Carter the other way.
Well, and even on the missed basket, as you see there, Miami ran cautiously because they need baskets right now, particularly good shots to stop the Knicks from running.
Alonzo Mourning has missed his first 5 shots tonight.
And see, what I like about this is they're forcing Alonzo to shoot jump shots with the quick double teams. So Alonzo needs to get his shot ups before the double teams come. That takes away his aggressiveness and keeps the Knicks out of foul trouble.
The New York Knicks are shooting 53%. Sprewell has 8 to lead him. And towards his body, the rebound by P.J. Brown. He has 3. And Anthony Carter, the rookie from Hawaii, 26 years of age, an NBA rookie. They fire it inside for Mourning with the whistle. Counted for 2 and a foul.
Well, and that's important to his confidence because you rebound better and it has an effect on your offense. He's struggling with some of his shots. This one he fakes in and then turns baseline and shoots up the jump shot. You know, just before that, he caught the basketball. You know, they're coming back on him. He turns and he shoots it, you know, and misses the shot. And then he stands on the outside, doesn't bother to follow the shot, which gives sign of some form of discouragement. Alonzo's got to stay aggressive. He's got to turn and go toward his basket as much as he can. But with the double teams, that's very difficult.
Thomas is in now, and Thomas picks up the foul. And here's Zoe. And we've talked so much about his presence on this team, completes the three-point play, whereas Patrick Ewing, who is on the bench with a couple fouls, has a lot of guys beneath him that are good. It's really the Zoe show in Miami, and that's about it.
Right, and New York has a lot more balance in scoring and doesn't rely on Patrick as much. But, you know, Patrick came out with so much energy tonight. It's a shame that he had to got the 2 cheap fouls early on because he was ready to play against Zoe tonight.
Alonzo Mourning had 1 block shot over the last 2 games. Tonight, he already has 2.
Well, and especially on the ball side, Camby caught the ball. He's more effective on the weak side, coming in and following when somebody else shoots, particularly when you're going against the best defensive player in the league.
Thomas picks up another foul, trying to put the reins on Alonzo Mourning. It's the second on him.
Well, I don't understand. You know, with Patrick Ewing on the bench with 2, your second best interior defender, Kurt Thomas, in foul trouble already. Sprewell was down there ready to double Alonzo, but for some reason he went back to Mashburn. They got weak side shooters of Bowen and Carter. Neither one can make the shot from the outside so far in this series. Go ahead and take the ball out of Alonzo's hands.
So here's Alonzo Mourning at the free throw line, who not only was recruited by John Thompson and Patrick Ewing to go to Georgetown, but Alonzo says the first time he watched Patrick was when Zoe was 12 years old, growing up in Virginia.
Well, they have a very special relationship, personal as well as professionally from a basketball standpoint. Each one of them's kids call the other one uncle. Uncle Zoe, Uncle Patrick. So it's extremely important that people understand that they have an extremely close personal relationship.
The New York Knicks come up the other way. They've led by 10, but they've also missed their last 6 shots. Now the New York lead is down 21-17. Miami has never led in this game.
I love the way Sprewell is playing, Kevin. He's going towards the basket extremely strong, had some shot blocks. It doesn't matter. A lot of guys are so humbled by a shot block, but they won't penetrate anymore. But this guy is going towards the basket, which is creating a problem.
Weatherspoon with the foul. That's the first on him. You can see everybody getting involved so far. Sprewell at the free throw line, and here is Chris Dudley coming into the game for the first time in the series for New York.
I love this substitution. I'm surprised he hasn't played a little bit more in this series. Great energy, offensive rebounding, but they haven't had foul trouble, so they really haven't had a need for him.
And Kurt Thomas has played well, backing up Ewing. And Marcus Camby jousting with Mourning. And Camby picks up his first foul.
Well, Camby's got to be real careful on that because particularly with the front line having the foul trouble that they have right now for the Knicks. Dudley, Danny, I wonder if he remembers the plays. He hasn't been in the game so long. I sure hope he still remembers the plays.
He might be coming out of the game right now for this last possession, so his stint on the court might have been 0.3 of a second.
But I do agree with you. I like his big body presence in there, and he does the things that he's capable of doing rather than trying to do things that he's not capable of doing, and that's what makes him effective.
He's in his 3rd year with the New York Knicks. He's played with Portland, New Jersey, and Cleveland. And by the way, he went to Yale, as did his father and grandfather and great-grandfather. I think he knows the plays.
Well, I sure hope he does, because he's been out of the game long enough that he's better be studying him in a manner in which he was at Yale.
And here he goes. He's had a bad back. He had a slip disc earlier in the season.
Miami's done a good job of weathering this storm. You know, New York came out with a great deal of aggressiveness, caused a lot of turnovers, and Miami's hung right in there.
Final half minute of the first quarter. Good offensive rebound by Weatherspoon. Gives it off to Bowen. Marley is on the bench with a couple of fouls for the Miami Heat. Mashburn will hold it for the final 14 seconds.
Well, again, Kevin, that's concentration. The Knicks can't afford to be in the position they're in on this court and let them get this ball back like they did.
Mashburn with a terrific move inside. Oh, what a play.
Great play by Mashburn right there. He's great off the dribble. They better get back on defense.
Nice move by Houston to get the shot away, but would not have counted. The New York Knicks did not turn it over once in the first quarter, but Miami certainly did. They turned it over 4 times. Exploited by Sprewell And moments ago, a dazzling move inside by Jamal Mashburn. And that brings Miami, who has never led, to within 3 at the end of one, 22-19. It's game 5. We have an absolutely gorgeous night here in South Florida. And as the sun sets in the west, it's the Western Conference, which has caught the attention of the NBA. Los Angeles taking care of Phoenix last night. Portland did the same to Utah. So on Saturday, game 1, Lakers and Portland, one of the most anticipated series of the season. And we'll have game 2 for you Monday from the Staples Center. I don't know what coach wouldn't take a guy like that.
Well, especially right now. Miami would take him. He's taking care of the ball better than Miami is taking care of the ball presently.
Here's an interesting switch. Charlie Ward starts the second quarter for New York. Sprewell with the fake on Bowen. Double teamed by Weatherspoon. Hits it nonetheless. What a great shot.
What a difficult shot right there. But the reason I like his aggressiveness is it's taken 2 people to stop him, and they should have advantages on the offensive board if he misses.
It was almost 5 minutes between field goals for New York. A miss outside by Weatherspoon and a jump ball between Kurt Thomas and Alonzo Mourning.
Well, if you look at that picture right there, you had 5 Knicks against Alonzo Mourning on the offensive board. You know, if you let that happen, you better take a lot better shot than you're taking.
And remember now, Ewing is on the bench with a couple of quick fouls for New York.
And it might be a blessing, you know, get him out off the bench, and when Alonzo goes out of the game, maybe Jeff Van Gundy can reinsert Patrick, and he can take advantage of the bench of Miami and try to score on the low post.
And Van Gundy has already made one significant adjustment tonight, Danny, that you showed us in the first quarter.
Right, defending the pick and roll. They're keeping everything down on the baseline, and it's been very effective so far in the first quarter. Let's see if Miami can now adjust and create some offense out of their pick and roll offense.
I just saw rebounding. Miami has out-rebounded New York every game this series. Bowen driving on Sprewell. Mashburn outside, flipping it to Carter. Shot clock is down to 8. Weatherspoon trying to plow his way inside. And a New York Knicks foul. It's Camby with 2. Boy, the size difference with these two is measurable.
Right, Weatherspoon had about 5 shots blocked in game 3. Here he does a good job. He only got 5 minutes in game 4. Pat Riley must not have been too happy with him, but gets in the game early tonight, and he's being aggressive, causing the foul.
A pass inside by Carter, deflected out of bounds by the Knicks defense.
Well, the good thing about Spoon is Danny indicated he had a lot of shots blocked, but he does have a strength advantage. So now, rather than to shoot the little jump shot, the little faded jump shot, he's going towards the basket and putting more pressure on Camby.
Shot clock at 7. Mashburn left free to fire and nails it from outside. Mashburn has hit a couple long-distance shots tonight, a 2 right there, and he's got 8.
Right, 2 shots from the outside that he's had his foot on the 3-point line, but he's really feeling it. He's not thinking, he's just out there playing, knowing that he has the green light.
Larry Johnson has been scoreless and quiet, has not even taken a shot. He jousts with Weatherspoon here. Camby to Ward. Bowen fell. Sprewell will try to exploit, and does.
Well, see, and Charlie Ward deserves a lot of credit for that. The guy's been hitting his shots, been initiating a lot of offense lately, but he understands that Sprewell is hot, so he throws that extra pass in the corner to Sprewell.
Sprewell's got 13.
Yeah, Sprewell's having a great game. I agree, Coach. Charlie is great to play with a point guard that wants to make the extra pass.
And Weatherspoon got the extra pass inside.
They need Weatherspoon. You know, they need somebody else other than Mashburn and Mourning to do some scoring for him. Weatherspoon's capable.
The New York Knicks just turned it over for the first time right there. That's the first turnover.
And that's what they have to be careful of. You cannot throw the ball away much because you don't want to pick this crowd up and let the Heat start to fast break you the way they've been fast breaking.
Here comes Chris Childs in the game for the first time. Charlie Ward leaves 5 points in the first 13 minutes of the game. Bowen. Mourning against Thomas. Across the lane. Weatherspoon had a hand on it. Camby rips it away, and here comes New York.
Well, that was a good shot. I think Spoon got inside, but it's interesting to watch that the Heat only have 2 guys going to the offensive board because they're afraid of the fast break of the New York Knicks and sending people back immediately on the shot.
It was off Bowen's foot. And a foul called against the aforementioned Bowen.
Well, this is great ball movement. Canby not a threat. Good job by Charlie Ward. Great read. Had the open shot. Pump fake. Found Sprewell. Sprewell's been knocking down that medium range jump shot tonight. Great execution.
Miami has never led, and they're down by 3 now.
To be honest, I've never seen a situation become so panicked so fast, and we're still ahead. Obviously, there's desperation with the fact that we need to close out the series, but at the same time, the same people that are talking were the same people that predicted us to lose this series.
We've got a spectacular Friday night coming up for you on TNT. Pacers-Sixers Game 6 at 6 Eastern. And then we'll be in Madison Square Garden for the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks Game 6. A super night of NBA playoff basketball. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, Craig Sager in the Rocket American Airlines Arena. Sprewell on the bench, 13 points. The rest of the Knicks have 13 points.
Well, I think a lot of what the Knicks have done is gotten out fast break. It's interesting watching the Heat because they're leaving for defense very early and sending only one guy to the offensive board, and sometimes only 2. 3 are getting back and 4 are getting back.
Canby tries to nimbly work around the Miami defense. Here comes Carter. Ewing still on the bench with 2 fouls. New York has had just 1 turnover in the first 16 minutes of the game. Bowen. It's Mashburn. Canby had it. And 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
Good execution coming out. Just couldn't knock down the shot, but great execution by Miami.
Kick violation. 8:56 to play here in the second. Pat Riley's Miami Heat and Jeff Van Gundy's New York Knicks. The Knicks are shooting 47%. Miami shooting 36%. Allen Houston. Punch one right there. Houston is 2 of 5 with 6 points. Flying the other way, Jamal Mashburn. Thomas with the rebound.
See, that's the shot you got to capitalize on, particularly where they're struggling offensively.
A missed alley-oop, but retained by New York with Johnson's rebound. Childs for 3. Rebound Miami.
2 good opportunities right there. About 3 inches short on that pass. Witherspoon just got a finger on it to break up the dunk by Canby.
Hardaway started off on the bench now. Carter taking his place. Childs is in for Ward. Canby guarding Witherspoon, who goes right by him, detonating to the rack for 2.
Well, he's made an adjustment. Before, he was shooting a lot of jumpers in games before, but now he realizes it's very difficult for a shot blocker to block shots if you close the space between he and you.
Especially the way that the officials are calling this game. It's taking away a little bit of Canby's aggressive defensive style.
Houston with a nice hit right there.
Well, that's a big shot for Houston. Good post action, movement without the ball. I like the body and ball movement of both teams tonight better than they've had.
Knicks have led by as many as 10. They've never trailed. 7.5 to play in the half. Mashburn's got 8. Carter over Childs into Mourning, grinding it out with Thomas. It won't go, but so will go once again to the free throw line.
Well, Mashburn here in transition has an advantage of quickness on Larry Johnson. Does a good job of getting to the basket. Still hasn't attempted a free throw in the last 3 games after doing 9 times in game 1. You see those zeros there at the end. They need him to get to the free throw line. At least tonight he's looking to be aggressive offensively.
Well, especially, Danny, he's a lot like Sprewell is for the Knicks. Both of them seem to have their foot on the accelerator. They definitely don't have their foot on the brake. They're getting that ball and they're going and they're trying to score, and that's very important. And particularly for Miami's got to make some baskets because the Knicks are getting out of there running.
Miami tonight from the free throw line has gone 6 of 9. Zoe has taken all 9 Miami free throws.
Well, as long as he keeps making them, it's important.
Ewing is back in the game. On the drive by Larry Johnson across the lane. Fouled on the play by Clarence Weatherspoon. Pat Riley told us this morning he did not have a lot of adjustments or major changes in the way he was going to approach the game tonight.
Well, I don't think any coach wants a lot of adjustments when you come this far, but you make little wrinkles to try to make the adjustment, as Danny talked about in relation to the Knicks with the pick and roll. You don't want a major adjustment, but you do have to put little wrinkles in your defense and in your offense.
Otis Thorpe comes in for Mourning. Allen Houston creating his own shot inside. Mourning with him gone. Watches Thorpe try to dig it out. And here comes Carter. Mashburn working on Larry Johnson, who had the hand check and draws the New York Knicks foul. And on Larry Johnson, his first tonight. Larry Johnson still has not taken a shot from the field or from the line.
Well, that's because he's been double-teamed every time he's got the ball in the post. He's been a good playmaker so far.
Timeout, Knicks by 1. There's a full moon over Miami tonight and illuminating the beautiful American Airlines Arena. These are the playoffs on TNT. The Knicks have never trailed, but Miami now down by 1 as we send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, thanks, Kevin. We mentioned earlier the age of Anthony Carter. He'll be 25 this summer, and he's a rookie. But he is a veteran when it comes to playing in money games. He dropped out of high school in the 9th grade and made a living with the Kirkwood Boys, a group that made a playground legend in and around Atlanta. He says it was not unusual to make $500 to $1,000 a day. But then a shady element infiltrated the playgrounds. He decided to get away and enrolled in an adult education center, went to junior college, then Hawaii, and now is making the best of his second chance. Kevin?
Great, Craig. Thank you. Last year he played in the CBA. Mashburn isolating on Johnson. Shot clock at 4 with the whistle. Illegal defense is blown on the New York Knicks for the first time tonight.
Well, you can believe that they're very concerned with the Mashburn penetration. And one of the big adjustments that both teams have to make right now is to the officials. They're calling a lot of fouls out on the perimeter for hand checking and so forth. But Mashburn, you can tell that Pat Riley's been in his ear. Get to the free throw line. Don't settle for jump shots all night. He's driving the ball very aggressively.
And driving right there. Bowen to Carter. Anthony Carter knocks it down. He's got his first 2 tonight.
Well, that's the best way to stop the Knicks fast break is to be patient with your offense, pass the ball, and then get a good shot and make them run against a made basket as opposed to a rebound and a stolen ball.
Miami with their first lead as Thorpe tries to deny Ewing inside.
Right here, Pat Riley gave Jamal Mashburn a tape of 40 plays of where he can be more aggressive. Here he does a good job, draws the entire Knick defense, gets him in rotation, leaves Anthony Carter wide open for the jump shot, all set up by the penetration of Mashburn.
You saw the assist story. Camby has left the game. Sprewell is in with Houston, Ewing, Johnson, and Childs. Slashing inside is Sprewell. Ewing over Mashburn. Big shot.
Well, it was a good shot. I mean, he's outside taking it, but it was set up really by the great pass by Sprewell and his penetration.
I like this matchup for New York, though. With Thorpe on the court and Mourning resting, I think they should go to Patrick down on the block and try to create double teams or offense for Patrick down low.
Ewing has 4. He has started 2 of 3. Great performance so far by the guy with the ball, Clarence Weatherspoon, driving down the baseline. He's got 6 points, 5 rebounds in 7 minutes, all off the bench.
He's doing a good job, and I don't know why they keep going for the pump fake. I haven't seen him make many shots from the outside, but Weatherspoon is a guy that can give him a boost.
Well, and looking at this is why he's doing a great job, too. He gives a simple fake, as Danny says, but he's heading in the right direction. He's going towards the iron, as opposed to playing on the perimeter and trying to force up a jump shot against a taller person.
And he's coming off a game of just 5 minutes on Sunday in Game 4. He just had a layup game against New York. File that away. Ewing with the miss.
Patrick lost control of the ball that time, but I still like the decision of Jeff Van Gundy going at Patrick on the low post against Otis.
Mashburn and Sprewell. Shot clock at 9. Mashburn's got 8 points. Driving again inside and finding 2.
His confidence is really rising right now. He's being very aggressive aggressive, and he's got a 50-pound advantage on Sprewell right there. Sprewell's getting a little tired having to guard him one-on-one.
Well, and I think Pat Riley has told him too, Danny, to go to the basket because Spoon is going to the basket, Mashburn is going to the basket, and that's the best solution when you're not shooting as well. At least you'll go to the foul line or put pressure on the defense of the Knicks.
Right here, he's trying to be aggressive, taking advantage of his size. That's pretty good defense by Sprewell. There's nothing more he can do. Beautiful shot by Mashburn. He's on a nice little roll.
And Miami's got their biggest lead.
NBA Playoffs 2000 on TNT. Brought to you by Killian's Irish Red, which reminds you one look says a lot. By the United States Army, be all you can be. And by Sunkist, one nation under the sun.
Watch Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, and Jack Nicholson in The Witches of Eastwick, Saturday at 8 on TNT.
That's an all-star cast there. And one of the Bee Gees here. And Don Shula, who coached when the Bee Gees were big. Hall of Fame coach Don Shula, one of the great men in the history of the NFL and all of sports.
Great defensive play by Anthony Carter right there. Just denying Childs the ball. They came out of the timeout trying to get the ball down in the low post to Patrick. Great defensive pressure on the perimeter.
Childs picks up his second personal foul of the game. 4.5 to play in the half. Miami is shooting 43%. New York 43%. Oh! Up high went Carter on the feed from Mashburn on the wing. Childs streaking the other way and over Thorpe knocks one down.
Well, that was a great transition basket. You know, that alley-oop is fine for a guy Carter's size if it goes in. If it doesn't, it ends up being a fast break because he's the fastest person under the basket trying the alley-oop.
Thorpe grinding against Ewing. Patrick with some nice defense. And out of bounds it goes.
Well, that was Thorpe's attempt to try to get a third foul on Patrick. Now Alonzo's going to get back in the game and try to put some pressure on Patrick Ewing. It'll be interesting to see if Van Gundy gets Patrick out to finish the half to protect him for the second half.
And I think it's very crucial right in here that the Knicks handle the ball well. They can't get the disease that Miami had earlier and start turning the ball over and initiating fast breaks for the Heat. And here's another turnover. You got to be careful right in here.
See, I don't understand that play right there. Right here, you get a switch on the pick and roll. And instead of trying to post up Larry Johnson against Mashburn, they're both about the same size. Let Sprewell take Weatherspoon off the dribble. Create that mismatch up on the perimeter as opposed to going into the post.
Larry Johnson picks up his second personal foul. As you see, Alonzo Mourning and Dan Marley coming back in the game for Miami. Carter remains the point. Mashburn remains in the game. Brown is in the game down low. Mourning with the shot clock showing 6. Mourning again inside, working his way for the shot. Rebound by Patrick Ewing.
Well, Patrick's doing a smarter job when Alonzo can beat him, let him beat him, and then follow him to the basket as opposed to kneeing him or pushing him. And now Alonzo picks up a very foolish foul by pushing Patrick.
Alonzo Mourning picks up his first foul of the game. New York has had turnovers the last 2 trips down the floor.
You know, you always see that happen. Alonzo's probably frustrated as a result of getting to the basket and getting a layup opportunity and missing it, and then you come down and you end up making a foolish foul.
Childs against Carter. Shot clock at 6. Marley had a hand on it. Sprewell gets it. 1 second to fire. Till it goes. Tapped up and in by Larry Johnson.
Great play by Sprewell, creating the opportunity. Everybody's flooding to him, trying to stop that penetration.
Larry Johnson gets his first 2 of the game for New York.
Well, in spite of the fact that Charles and Patrick were arguing just then because Charles wanted Patrick to come up and set a screen, Patrick wanted Charles to throw it in. That's why it's extremely important that Ward is out there and give the kind of leadership you need. You can't get to arguing out on the basketball court at this time.
Mourning with the fadeaway where he has not hit tonight. Rebound picked up by New York. Childs. The no-look is Sprewell. Drives on Mashburn inside. The reverse. free throw, gets his own miss. Rejected by Alonzo Mourning. He's got 3 block shots tonight.
Well, that's why he's Defensive Player of the Year. The guy's got so much energy, great timing.
Dan Marley thinking about 3, driving by Childs, feeding outside to Carter. And Mourning left uncovered and exploits the lack of defense by New York.
Well, and that's what Pat Riley talked to us about. He said the percentage of baskets that they had made when there were several passes as opposed to percentage that they were made when they were only one. That time they passed it around, caused the defense to move on the part of the Knicks, and as a result of it, Miami comes up with an easy basket from Alonzo at the foul line.
Alonzo Mourning is coming off the game for Sunday where he had 9 turnovers. Tonight, he starts 0 of 5. Now he is 2 of 10, but means so much to this Miami team. 1:54 to play in the first half, with Miami leading 35-34. Game 1 Saturday, the Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers. Each team won 2 games of the 4 they played this year. And then John, Danny, Craig, and I will be in Los Angeles for Game 2 Monday night, 9 o'clock with the pregame, 9:30 Eastern with the tip-off on TNT.
What a great series that is going to be. I think that's a toss-up. I like the home court advantage for the Lakers. Shaq and Kobe are playing fantastic basketball, but Portland's on a nice little roll. That's going to be the series of the playoffs, in my opinion.
And the interesting thing is both teams won road games in that regular season series.
Well, one thing for sure is the real...
Houston can't get it to go. P.J. Brown with the rebound. He now has collected 4. 10.5 to play in the first half. Very intense Game 5. Maybe the most important game of the series as P.J. Brown puts in his 4th point of the game.
Well, I love the defensive intensity of this game. It's a beautiful thing. Both teams are playing extremely hard. They're making everybody work for everything that they got. And I think there within lies the beauty between both of these teams, that they work very hard at the defensive end of the court.
Both teams are shooting 42%. Ewing is clobbered inside by Alonzo Mourning.
And there's Larry Johnson. Another time he gets the ball in the post against P.J. Brown. I thought P.J. Brown, from everything Pat Riley tells me, is one of the best defensive low-post players. They continue to double Larry Johnson, leaving Patrick Ewing wide open under the basket.
Well, one of the things that Patrick did extremely smart that time, as opposed to just going and trying to jump over Alonzo, he gave him a ball fake. Most shot blockers wanted to react because they want to block shots. And then after he got him in the air, he sucked him into a foul.
Patrick Ewing at the free throw line picked up 2 early fouls tonight. Rebounding +4 for Miami. We told you the shooting percentage, 42% for both teams. The New York Knicks won Game 4 Sunday at the Garden. Neither team has been able to win consecutive games in 9 consecutive games, dating back to last year in the playoffs. New York led by 10. Miami came back for their first lead late in the second quarter, and they lead now by 2. 37-35, the Heat. Weatherspoon has played well coming off the bench. Anthony Carter for Hardaway. Hardaway is on the bench, and there he is up and cheering, and Anthony Carter has come off to go 2 of 3 for 4 points in the game.
I just love his energy and his confidence. There's no hesitation in his shooting right there. He's just taking it, letting the ball fly.
Now Houston lets one fly at the other end. A 5th rebound by P.J. Brown. It is so loud in this building. Easily the most emotional game in this building, in this series. Mashburn, shot clock at 5. Looking to feed with the whistle and a New York Knicks foul. Miami moving it around well. Sprewell picks up a foul, number 2.
And this is an adjustment Pat Riley made when they're pushing a baseline. He sends Dan Morley over to strong side, swing the ball from side to side. Great execution, big shot by Carter spurs confidence.
Yeah, Riley told us today, John, he wants that ball rotation.
Well, he's got to move the Knicks defense. He wanted to be in a position where he can get offensive rebounds, as well as the fact to put people in a position to be able to penetrate, as they've been doing, particularly in the second quarter as opposed to the first quarter, shooting jump shots. I think once you get motion and you move defensive players, it enables you to have more opportunities offensively.
Jamal Mashburn taking his first free throws in 2.5 games in this series.
And that's important, but he has been aggressive. He's created a lot of double teams and shots for his teammates through his penetration. I like his aggressiveness tonight.
And one more note, Mashburn, the first player other than Zoe to take Miami free throws tonight. The final seconds in the first half of Game 5 ticking off. Sprewell collides inside, and the foul is called on Latrell Sprewell. He's got 3 in the game.
Big play right there, and Latrell should know better. He's been knocking down, coming up, pulling up for that in-between jump shot. He can see, you know, that's Miami's defense this whole series. You know they're going to attack the basket.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Danny. He did just the opposite of what he did earlier in the game, where he penetrated. The second layup defense came in to stop him, and he pulled up. That time he went straight through and picked up a foul that he'll regret later in the game.
Mashburn missing. Buzzer sounding. We are at halftime. Miami trailed by 10, but then the Miami bench came in, helping out players like Alonzo Mourning, who had 10 points himself. But Jamal Mashburn getting free throws, driving inside, 12 points. Let's send it over to Craig.
Well, Jamal, first of all, a slow start for you, Bryce. Really picked it up. Why were you able to get in the penetration, get the open shots?
Well, we're trying to make them play us on defense, not rely on our jump shooting. That's what we did in Game 4 a little bit. And when they don't fall, it's not going to be effective for us. So we got to keep on going to the hole and put some pressure on the referees to call some fouls.
Well, that's what Danny Ainge mentioned earlier, that they were calling it closer on the perimeter. Has that helped you?
No, it didn't help us none. It helped them some. But we can survive. We'll be all right. We just got to continue to stay focused and be aggressive. That's the biggest thing. Be aggressive.
All right, great first half. Let's go over to Kevin.
Jamal Mashburn, born and raised in New York and played on the same playgrounds in that great city as Julius Erving and Connie Hawkins. Coming up, the AT&T halftime report. We go to Atlanta with Ernie Johnson. Here at halftime, it's Miami 41-35.
The AT&T halftime report is brought to you by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Game 5 in Miami between the Knicks and the Heat. Jamal Mashburn's got a dozen in the first half. Miami down 10 at one point, rallying for a 41-35 lead over the Knicks. That series 2-2. Tonight on the AT&T halftime report, we welcome the guy who authored one of the greatest jams in playoff history.
We're down to 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Starks. Yes! What a move by Starks, who was able to sky to the basket.
None other than Michael Jordan. And he couldn't do anything about it. What a spectacular move.
Drop it like it's hot, Sean. Drop it like it's hot. Hello, everybody. Peter Vesey, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson. John Starks is here. When did you decide you were going left hand on that?
It wasn't intended to do that. I think it was just the move and the moment presented itself for me to go left.
We will have much more to talk about. Obviously, we didn't bring you here just for that, but we love seeing that, and thanks for bringing the tape with you.
We'll have the 3 for 18 show later on.
Oh, man. A roast party today. Huh?
Man,
Did I give him one more?
Can I come to Atlanta and just enjoy myself?
Yeah.
Right, please.
As much as is possible here tonight. We're going to go to Mr. Vesey first. I want to know what's up with the Washington Wizards. Michael Jordan's offered that job now?
Yes, he has. You know, Ernie, when Darryl Walker was given the interim job, I came out with a story saying that Jordan had targeted Mike Jarvis as his primary target, you know, when the season was over. Now those same sources are telling me that Mike Jarvis was offered the job today. Negotiations begin tomorrow with the St. John's coach. I don't see any problem here, Ernie. I think that the job will be his.
Hey, who gets the St. John's job now
well,
if he takes this move to the pros?
Well, from what I hear, Lenny Wilkins is saying he's got the job. You know, we got some Hawk news, too.
Yeah,
Byron Scott was in Atlanta today. He was interviewed for the Hawks opening. They've also interviewed Sidney Lowe, and Isaiah Thomas is still in the picture.
And are they going to make a decision soon on that? I mean, do you have any kind of a timetable?
Well, they already did make a decision by offering it to Tom Izzo, and he rejected it. So they've been set back a little bit, and now they're revisiting some other people.
All right, well, thank you for the updates on that. Now let's talk about the game that we're watching right here, the Miami Heat and New York Knicks. You played in this series twice as a member of the Knicks. Why is this one so special with the Heat? Why is the intensity, et cetera, so much higher in this one?
Well, I think it just stemmed from, you know, there's a lot of New Yorkers down in Miami, and I think Miami don't appreciate us coming in and getting the cheers that we used to get down there.
He still says us.
But I was going to say.
It's hard to get it out of my system.
Yeah, I mean, a long time Nick, but also a guy who played for Pat Riley. I mean, do you root when you're watching a series like this?
Well, you know, I've been with New York for so many years, and I still have a lot of ties with that ball club, you know, with Patrick, Charlie, Chris Childs, Larry, Allen, those guys right there I played alongside with. So my heart is in New York, but, you know, Coach Riley has been instrumental to me getting to where I'm at today. And, you know, I always have some favoritism towards him, too. So, you know, I just want to see the best team come out this series, and hopefully it can be the right team.
Explain the first half to me here. 10-point lead for New York, everything going their way. Charlie Ward playing great again, and Sprewell off to a hard start. And then here comes Miami back on it.
Right back at it. Let's change gears a little bit. Think about a boxing match, because I seen Roy Jones the other night just demolish his opponent. This is the Knicks Heat. You know, everyone's throwing jabs, and everyone is scared to throw that one haymaker. Why? Because it leaves you open. And no one is actually taking any chances. So now everyone's going to be able to stay in the game. The Knicks are going to be able to stay in the game if Miami makes a run. Miami's going to be able to stay in the game if the Knicks make a run. Take the chance, come back from Louisiana and take that punch if you're one of those teams, and that's the team who's going to win.
I'm so surprised that, you know, New York took a lead. They had everything going for them. Tim Hardaway goes to the bench. All the advantages in their favor. Pat Riley comes into every game groping for that third scorer. He's got Zoe, he's got Mashburn. Who's it going to be? This time it looks like it's Weatherspoon. The Knicks have such an advantage because they come into every game knowing they have 3 scorers and maybe even a 4th that they can count on. So I'm surprised that Miami was able to come back as well as it has.
It is 41-35 at the half, and I've never been a Golden Gloves boxer, never done much of anything, but that jab needs work, man. That's the work. Back with more on the AT&T halftime report in just a second. Oh, man. Welcome back to the AT&T halftime report. Latrell Sprewell has 13 points. He also has 3 fouls. New York down 41-35 to the Heat in pivotal Game 5. Back here with Peter Vesey, Kenny Smith, and John Starks. And John, you say you talked to Charlie Ward today. What was he thinking?
Well, actually, I talked to him yesterday, and what I told him is that the excitement that he brought at the end of the game is the type of excitement that he had to bring for the whole course of the game. Just don't wait till the end of the game and bring that excitement, because, like you say, he had to be the leader out there on the court, and everybody's going to feed off of him. And, you know, he's been doing a good job through the course of the series of doing that.
Played about the first 18 minutes of this game, has 5 points. What do we look for here in the third quarter and the fourth?
Any more Sprewell penetration, you can look for the Knick win, because he's the only guy who's really breaking people off the dribble. Weatherspoon is doing it for the Heat, but I don't think that's his game, and the natural feel comfortable doing that.
Zoe only has 2 fouls. They got to get him in foul trouble for the Knicks to win.
And he's got 6 points on 1 out of 6. So for Peter Vesey and John Starks and Lennox Lewis, Ernie Johnson here. That's it for the AT&T halftime report. Enjoy the third quarter. It's 41-35, the Heat leading the New York Knicks.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast, or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Seductive South Beach on a spring evening here in Miami. These are the NBA playoffs on TNT. Miami trailed a great deal of the first half. Now they lead at halftime by 6. The New York Knicks have won 5 of their last 8 playoff games in Miami. And the Heat trying to claw back against the Knicks.
Third quarter is very important. Down 10, baby. Very important third quarter.
Finish up strong.
All right. Everything started off.
All situations strong, man.
Let's get ready to rumble! Right, gotta take it to the basket, baby.
Well, we saw a wonderful first half, a lot of intensity. The half-court offense of New York disappearing. That's why they struggled. One of the reasons why they struggled late in the first half.
Yeah, neither team made a lot of mistakes. Not very many offensive rebounds, not very many turnovers, but execution in the half court, I think, has been the difference.
And for Miami, John, it was great inside play, namely by Clarence Weatherspoon and Jamal Mashburn.
Well, particularly, Kevin, after they threw the ball away earlier and took ill-advised jump shots, Mashburn started going to the basket, Spoon started going to the basket. They started putting a lot of pressure on the New York defense by constantly attacking the basket.
And that makes a difference. In fact, we see free throws from Mashburn for the first time tonight in 2 games. It does make a difference. Let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Pat Riley very happy with Clarence Weatherspoon. 6 points and 6 rebounds in just 10 minutes. And Riley did affirm what Coach Thompson had said during the game, that he's being very aggressive, going to the hole instead of trying to create space against Marcus Camby. As for the other side, Jeff Van Gundy, he said the only one that played good offensively for the Knicks was Larry Johnson. Now, Larry Johnson took only 1 shot, had 2 points. I said, what about Latrell Sprewell? He said, I don't think he particularly played well offensively. Defensively, we didn't play well either. We need to have double teams quicker on Mashburn and Alonzo. Kevin?
All right, Danny?
I agree. I thought Sprewell was a little bit out of control. Very aggressive, but not making good decisions with the ball. Larry Johnson was very patient, taking the double teams when he got them, being aggressive, creating for the teammates, swinging the ball.
Well, and I think one thing that was very important is when you looked at the statistics is that the Knicks came out and got a lot of fast break baskets off of their defense. Then Miami took care of the ball a lot better and put the Knicks in a position where they had to work half court against their offense as they are now.
We begin the second half with a half-court basket by Charlie Ward, who starts the second half.
Yeah, and great play by Patrick. I like Patrick's body language from the opening tip tonight. He looked so much fresher and more energized. He did a good job of taking the ball into the paint, penetrating to Charlie. Charlie scored off an easy secondary penetration.
Hardaway and Shackles a 2-point shot. Out there for the Knicks, Ewing, Johnson, Houston, Ward, Sprewell with it, with a nice deceptive move on Mashburn, knocking one down.
Well, he's still feeling it. And Danny said something the game before that as a result of getting a layup, sometimes it improves your jump shot. He hit the layups early in the ball game, and now he's dropping in his jumper from outside, which is a good sign.
Whistle away from the ball. Charlie Ward goes crashing to the floor. That's on Alonzo Mourning, who picks up his 3rd personal foul.
I think that was on Patrick picking up his 3rd. Patrick's not happy. He ran right through the screen that time. Didn't get the call.
So Ewing picks it up. Hardaway with the move, chiseling his way inside, and he goes flying down the lane into the difference maker, Patrick Ewing.
Well, there's a heck of a move on Hardaway's part by 1 foot. It showed a lot of courage, but Patrick hit the floor extremely hard and landed very flat on his back.
Ward driving again inside. Patrick Ewing over Alonzo Mourning, watches it go.
Great penetration by Charlie Ward right there. Even got Hardaway got away with a foul, trying to grab Charlie as he went by him.
Alley-oop inside, down to Alonzo Mourning.
Well, I'd like to see it to Alonzo a lot more than they threw the first one to Anthony Carter. You know, you throw it to a big guy, you throw it above the rim, and he goes up and he puts it in. Besides that, you have balance on the floor defensively and offensively.
The Knicks have started 3 of 3 from the field in this second half. Defensive switch. Now Marley is guarding Larry Johnson with the double from Mashburn. They rotate to Ward. Picked up by Mash. 2 seconds to shoot. And he drills it from outside.
Who is that guy right there? He's unbelievable. He's playing with so much confidence. But again, they did not want to leave Houston. They chose to leave Charlie Ward. He continues to make a pay for the double teams.
But Mashburn was guarding him, Danny, and looked down at his number. I guess he wanted to know who was that guy, too. He's not accustomed to seeing that from Charlie Ward.
9 points from Charlie Ward. A New York Knicks foul. It's inside, and Larry Johnson picks up his 3rd of the game.
Well, Alonzo's being very aggressive coming into the post, and they're trying to fight him all they can. A lot of contact going on. Alonzo's a great instigator. Great pass by P.J. Brown. Made him pay for the front. But right here, this is a big surprise for Pat Riley right there. Second time that Hardaway's taken the ball to the basket, and a great finish at the rim.
Hardaway is 2 of 5. A 3 by Hardaway. Rebound by Brown, hustling for the ball. Mashburn to Brown. The reverse inside will not go. Rebound by Patrick Ewing, who picks up number 5. Sprewell at the other end.
When it really turned out to be a two-man fast break, Kevin, Ward pushed the basketball, but the only one that was down there with him was Sprewell. He pulled up and hit the jump shot because he's in a great rhythm right now.
New York's in a great rhythm. They are 5 of 5 in this quarter. Missed by Brown, picked up by Houston.
Good defense. They want P.J. Brown to shoot those jumpers and not get their defense rotating on those pick and rolls.
Here comes Sprewell with Mashburn there. Ewing will plunge into the lane. Rejected by Mourning.
That was goaltending. The ball came off the glass. No call.
And Mashburn at the other end gets 2.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, the intensity, you couldn't ask for more from this ball game. Both of these teams are playing at both ends of the floor and playing with a lot of intensity.
Well, the pace certainly is not what you expect when you see a New York-Miami game, but the intensity is. A foul away from the ball. It's down low, and Dan Marley picks up his 3rd.
From my angle, this looked like a goaltending. Patrick does a good job. If the ball touches the glass first, yeah, ball hit the glass, and then Alonzo hit it off there. Definitely goaltending. When you're Defensive Player of the Year, you get away with those.
4 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. Ewing inside over 2 defending Miami players.
Well, that was a great shot. He caught that in the paint, and he turned and went straight up with it. Most of those Alonzo had been blocking when he hasn't been given a ball fake, but Alonzo was in the secondary part of the defense.
9 points and 5 rebounds. Hardaway for 3. Rebound picked up again by P.J. Brown.
Timmy's feeling it. He's feeling like his old self right there, so he's doing a good job right there penetrating and not settling. He's the one who said, take it to the basket in that tunnel. Right there, every time he's done it, they've had success.
14 for Alonzo Mourning.
Well, that was a great play set up by Timmy because he forced all the big guys to come to him, and he just dropped it off to Alonzo.
Knicks are shooting 47%. Sprewell has normally been very accurate tonight. He has 17 points, but missing wildly there. Mashburn over Spree. Rebound by Ewing. Number 6. Mourning and Johnson. Rebound by P.J. Brown. Brown has collected 7 rebounds. Hardaway inside.
That was Jeff Van Gundy's biggest fear, is Tim Hardaway returning to his old self. He has not been on par in any of the 4 games. And right here, 3 penetrating drives. Easy 3-point play right there.
His tank isn't empty. Hardaway igniting Miami.
It's very tough for me mentally. But, you know, I have to also understand that, hey, I'm hurt. You know, it is. Everybody knows I'm hurt. My team knows I'm hurt, but I'm just trying to just do what I can do. I got to contain the ball just a little bit more. I have to, I'm not going to even worry about the offensive end. I'm just going to worry about the defensive end and trying to contain Charlie and not let him blow by me.
But Hardaway is tearing up the terrain here in the 3rd quarter. Craig, what do you have?
Well, Pat Riley debated on whether to start Tim Hardaway in the 3rd quarter. He still hadn't made his mind up when he came out on the floor. Finally, seconds before it started, he looked at Tim, and Tim said, I'll give you what I've got. Now, earlier today, Hardaway admitted that the left foot is worse than has been told. It's not only plantar fasciitis and the sprain, but he said as soon as the season's over, he will be in a cast, a boot cast for up to 4 weeks. Kevin?
Great, Craig. Thank you very much.
The guy's a warrior. I mean, the guy's amazing. He's got 5 field goal attempts here in the 3rd quarter. Wasn't sure he was going to start. He looks like he's tired of being the weak link. He's too tough of a competitor.
Ward tries to drive. Here comes Sprewell carving up some room inside and finally finds it for 2.
Well, great penetration. And that's the thing the Knicks have to do. They can't become impatient. They've got to remember what got them the lead in the beginning. And Van Gundy is telling them now just to settle down, play good defense, not stupid fouls, get out, take the break, and take smart shots.
Mashburn. Hardaway for 3. Oh! Every chamber is filled for Tim Hardaway.
What great execution by Pat Riley's team coming out of the timeout. A double weave, coming back from the weak side. Mashburn penetrates off the secondary penetration. Hardaway wide open.
Hardaway with 8 points in the opening minutes of the second half. A New York miss. Who has it but Tim Hardaway?
Well, and he's practicing what he preached. He told him, let's go, let's get ready to rumble. And God knows he sure is rumbling right now.
Hardaway is in his zone.
He's showing no pain. Great penetration right here. Look at 3 guys come to help off the penetration. He can make that shot, but the penetration that he made before the 3 previous times set that up. They're afraid to run at him.
Houston picks up his second foul. There you see the numbers on Hardaway, who, John, has been a Nick killer over the last handful of years in this series.
Well, Kevin, it's interesting. I asked Coach Riley what determined how much he played Hardaway, and he said by feel. I tell you what, right now he feels pretty doggone good about Hardaway.
Hardaway's got his swagger back. 5.5 to play in the third. The Miami Heat have their biggest lead tonight of 7, 56-49 over a New York Knicks team, Danny, that led by 10 in the first quarter.
Well, you know, it was kind of funny because talking to Jeff Van Gundy today, you know, his biggest fear again was the flashbacks of Hardaway and having those Nick killer dreams. And he's done it. He's coming back, and I thought he was a little bit paranoid, but those dreams have come true.
You're absolutely correct, Danny. When he said that to us, I didn't think he was a little bit paranoid. I thought he was a whole lot paranoid. But I tell you, he knows a little bit about what he's talking about because Hardaway is really doing it.
And we'll tighten the screws on Friday on TNT. It'll be Game 6 of the Knicks in Miami at 9 Eastern Time, preceded by Game 6 of Indiana-Philadelphia. Who would have thought that series, the way Indiana started, would go to a 6th game?
Well, I thought the ejection of Reggie was big, but I still think that Indiana's in control of that series, but Philadelphia's definitely put a scare into them.
Larry Johnson driving inside, a robust drive on the baseline.
Well, that was a great move. He took the lesson from the book of Witherspoon. He went to the basket strong as opposed to trying to answer by throwing up jump shots.
Hardaway fires it inside for Dan Marley.
Another great play designed by Pat Riley. You got to give the coach credit right there. Excellent bucket. Great pass by Hardaway. Good flash by Marley.
What charisma he gives the game. Johnson. Ward to Ewing. Shot clock at 8. Nice, nimble move by Patrick Ewing.
I love Patrick's body language. I keep saying it, but I think he needs to get the ball more. I don't think he needs the ball early in the first 4 games, but the way he came out this game tonight, I love his body language, and they better keep him fresh down the stretch.
Ewing has 6 in the quarter, 11 for the game. Hardaway. Double teamed this morning over Johnson. This time they altered the shot. P.J. Brown is there. Can't get it to go, and Ward comes the other way for the Knicks.
Somebody's got to put a body on P.J. He's getting entirely too many offensive rebounds.
Larry Johnson has only taken 3 shots tonight with a shove and a hand check and a foul.
I got to tell you guys, this game is being officiated the way I understood the game was supposed to be officiated as a coach when the season started. It's one of the first games. This is one of the best officiated games I've seen all year long.
Kevin, can we record that? I cannot believe Danny Ainge is saying that. Make note of the fact that on this day at this time, Danny Ainge is very pleased with the officiating.
Mourning just picked up his 3rd foul. Sprewell to Ward, who's been quiet. Mourning fighting for the loose ball. Another whistle is blown. Another foul has been assessed. It's on Marcus Camby, who picks up his 3rd foul of the game. So now Sprewell with 3, Johnson with 3, Ewing with 3, and Camby with 3 fouls for New York.
Well, that's going to be a deciding factor. They've got to be smart, but yet maintain that intensity right now. I think you've got to respect the fact that these athletes are totally putting out. All of them have to be a little tired when it comes around to the 4th quarter because the energy level is unbelievable in this game.
Early at the line, the 2-time Olympian, the 3-time All-Star.
And I think this is Dan's first trip to the free throw line. I think he had 1 attempt before, but it was off a technical foul, so this is the first one he's earned.
And on that note, Miami is 11 of 15 from the stripe. New York, 4 of 6. Marley got a couple quick fouls.
Hey, Joe, he's bleeding.
He is the perfect Pat Riley player, isn't he? Defense, tough, veteran.
He's the perfect every coach player. Every coach would die to have Dan Marley on their team.
That's absolutely correct.
And now he's bleeding, so they got to go wipe the blood from his knee.
That makes him play better when he's bleeding.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the kind of player he is.
You better take a DNA on that one, because you don't know whether that's his blood or the guy that he's guarding's blood.
And they replace one, ooh, look at that. They replace one ruthless defender in Marley with another ruthless defender in Bruce Bowen.
Yeah, Bowen doesn't have the strength, but a little bit better foot speed than Dan.
Sprewell slicing inside. It's picked up by Mashburn with under 4 to play in the third quarter. And the Miami Heat leading 60 to 53 in what many people think is the most important game of the series, Game 5. Sprewell with the knockaway. And buckle up for Latrell Sprewell.
I think that's a great no call. Sprewell stripped the ball. Mashburn tried to hold on to him, break it, but I like the officials letting him get away with it.
Well, I agree with you, Danny, for a change. I won 110%, because the intensity level of this game, they're letting these guys decide this game, but not gaining advantage in doing it.
Miami turns it over for the first time in 13 games. They come right back the other way as Alonzo Mourning goes down a sledgehammer.
Well, Patrick can't give up the baseline. We've talked about it throughout this series. That's the first time he's got baseline drive. He has no help on the baseline side.
This is the guy that's got to get off to help the Knicks. He's got to get loose. He's got great defenders in Boyd and Marley Gardner, but I'd love to see Houston really initiate a little bit more movement to get himself open.
Houston is 3 of 9. Ewing with the left-handed miss. Miami the other way with about 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Miami is shooting 45%. The Knicks 46 from the field.
I still like the drive by Patrick. Patrick's misses tonight are high-quality attempts.
The runner by Mashburn. And a shove and a whistle and a 7th turnover.
Right here, this is just abuse right here. He faces up. He cannot. Patrick's not quick enough. When they double team Alonzo, they force Alonzo to make decisions. If they give him that kind of room, Patrick's in trouble.
Mashburn picks up a second foul. Timeout.
NBA Playoffs 2000 on TNT. Brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. And by Merrill Lynch, who invite you to log on to ML.com.
See why temptation can be a dangerous thing. Watch out for Alicia Silverstone in The Crush, Saturday at 10:30 on TNT.
Let's now take a look at tonight's American Express leaderboard. Defensive Players of the Year. Mourning has won it for a second consecutive year. Olajuwon back in the mid-90s. Robinson, Michael Jordan led the Bulls in scoring in '88. And then the guy that kind of initiated great defense, Sidney Moncrief. The award has only been given since 1983.
The guy that initiated was Bill Russell.
Right,
Who gave it to Alonzo right there.
Why not name it the Bill Russell Defensive Player of the Year Award?
What a great idea. Great idea, the Bill Russell Award. And they got Larry O'Brien Awards. Give it the Bill Russell Award.
You got a Joe Dumars Award. Mashburn with the interception. The Knicks' first turnover in this third quarter. Miami has had 7 turnovers. And Mashburn has 5 of the 7 in this game for Miami. Hardaway's been thrilling to watch. Now when Houston watches Hardaway drive inside.
I love it. The old Hardaway.
What a captivating third quarter performance for Tim Hardaway. He has 10 points in the quarter alone.
Oh, and how huge are those 10 points right now? What, it couldn't come at a better time for Miami and a worse time for New York.
Sprewell the drive inside, trying to puncture the Miami defense.
Well, Van Gundy said he didn't want any resurrections, but look at this crossover right here. I think he's seeing the resurrection of Tim Hardaway today.
That's the third on Jamal Mashburn. Take a look at Knick head coach Jeff Van Gundy. And the free throw will not drop. Miami is up by 9. And this matches Miami's biggest lead in this series, as Mourning and Mashburn will exit. In now, Marley, Weatherspoon, P.J. Brown, Bruce Bowen, and an electrifying Tim Hardaway.
Well, you can just see Tim Hardaway's confidence growing. He's probably going to try to jack up a three or take it again because he's feeling really good about himself right now, and he knows that Carter's coming in any minute to get him.
And playing in excruciating pain. Hardaway got a screen. Driving Weatherspoon forced out of bounds. A nice defense by Marcus Camby of New York.
Well, and you look at the amount of times that Houston had not been touching the ball. You look at when he was in the ball game, very seldom did he put his hands on the basketball out there. And just to some extent, you've got to look for him a little bit and get him the ball.
Wonderful touch by Patrick Ewing inside.
And a great decision by Sprewell that time. I love Sprewell's aggressiveness. This half he's made better decisions, but he's been the offensive energy on this New York team all night.
Bruce Bowen. Larry Johnson collects his 4th rebound tonight.
It was interesting. Bowen took that shot. You know, if he hits that shot, you know the Knicks are really in trouble, particularly off of no movement. He's in there as a defensive specialist, and now, rather than guarding Houston, he's guarding Sprewell, and because he did a very good job as Jamal of banging and holding on to Houston a lot out there.
Larry Johnson from Dallas, Texas, buries one. He's got 6 in the game. Johnson is 3 of 4, a very efficient offensive game for Larry Johnson.
Yeah, because he's a playmaker out there. He's a leader on the court. He knows how to play the game and does what's easy.
Brown with the drive down the lane and a surge. Rebound by Ewing. And now he's got 7 rebounds. Final seconds. Can New York make it a 2-point game? Not with that turnover. Hardaway, good if it goes as the buzzer sounds. A third quarter dazzling array from Tim Hardaway. 12 for the game, 3rd authored in the 3rd quarter. He has brought this capacity crowd out of their seats. At the end of 3, Miami on top of New York, 64-60. It's the only game tonight in the NBA, and these are the playoffs on TNT. Where else would you rather be than the rockin' American Airlines Arena? In this great series, what compelling stories we've had. Time now for the Budget Rent-A-Car Fast Break. A lot of interesting notes there. You see the fast break point, but look at the free throw difference between Miami and New York tonight.
Well, that's big. Not only are they getting to the free throw line, but they're making them. That's critical.
We begin the 4th quarter. Carter is in, taking the place of a red-hot Tim Hardaway. Weatherspoon in with Brown, Mourning, and Marley's got it right now, throwing to the leaping Mourning, who's double-teamed. Another offensive rebound by Brown.
Well, you've got to put a body on him. He's done a great job of letting the offense be initiated his opposite side and then going in strong.
Shoving inside Miami's Alonzo Mourning. He's got 4.
Great anticipation by Patrick there. Alonzo, he's trying to keep him from going baseline, and does a good job. Again, Alonzo has the wide open jump shot, didn't take the bait. That time it didn't pay off.
How about P.J. Brown? He's got 5 offensive rebounds.
Well, and they've got to put a body on him. He's been doing that way smart, is that he lets the other players initiate the offense. While they're doing it, he gets a position real good inside.
Brown just picked up a foul right there.
Well, with Alonzo getting 4 fouls, P.J. Brown is going to guard Patrick Ewing, and I like that for the Knicks. I like to get the ball to Patrick Ewing in the post against P.J. I think he can have his way the way he's playing tonight.
Sprewell's got 22, launching right here on the fly. Rebound through the hands of Weatherspoon. Look at the hustle of Marcus Camby. And it is out of bounds and off Miami, and New York will inbound with 11:16 to play in the 4th quarter.
Well, that's what you want to see as a coach. These guys aren't standing and calling the ball. They're running down every loose ball, going after every rebound. I love the intensity of this game, particularly at the defensive end of the court by both teams.
Sprewell. Rebound by P.J. Brown.
I like the offensive play. Marley can't guard Sprewell. He's a lot quicker than Houston off the dribble, but they got to find ways to continue to get offensive rebounds when Sprewell's not making those shots and drawing the entire defense to guard him.
Weatherspoon. Rebound by Ewing, who's got 13 points and 8 rebounds tonight.
When Alonzo had a matchup with Larry Johnson that time because they had Brown on Patrick. Might have wanted to try to go in a little bit and see if Alonzo could just take advantage of the size advantage there.
Weatherspoon lunging over the offensive-minded Larry Johnson. And a foul called on Clarence Weatherspoon. Picked up his 3rd right there. Childs will come in. Ward will take a breather. Gone is Sprewell. And in comes Houston. So Ewing, Houston, Camby, Johnson, and Childs.
This is the lineup that had great success in game 1 with the 1-2 guard instead of both Sprewell and Houston on the court together. They don't have to double team as much, and they got shooting in Patrick and offensive rebounding by Camby.
1 second to shoot, and Johnson rips it.
Well, and he went to the basket. He comes across those left-hand hooks, then he collided into Patrick. These guys are not only bumping the opponent, they're really clashing into each other out here.
It's Alonzo Mourning with 16 points. Carter's got 4. Weatherspoon inside. Backed away.
That was a great block by Patrick that time.
Childs. Johnson quickly doubled. Carter makes the steal. Johnson takes it right back.
Great play by Carter and Johnson right there. Just a good bounce.
Ewing begins to drive. And Joey Crawford blew the whistle. And stopped the play as Ewing was accelerating, so wipe that entire sequence off. And there may have been a clock problem.
He blew the whistle before, right as Patrick started. I thought it might have been a traveling, but he right away knew what he was going to call. He was going to stop the shot clock.
Well, Chris Childs made a great play because he penetrated quickly into the middle because he's got fresh legs. Then threw the pass to the outside to Patrick.
This officiating crew tonight has done a spectacular job in a variety of ways, not the least of which has been the consistency with which they've called this game.
Right, I agree. Joey Crawford is one of the best officials. Callahan and Terry Durham have done a fantastic job too. They didn't need to, or they should have reset the clock because the ball changed possession on the steal by Carter.
Well, the great thing about the officiating tonight, Danny, I think there's a lot of common sense calls. You can read the rule book all you want to, but the best officials are the guys who make common sense calls.
New York is on a 7-0 run. Childs to Johnson. The shot clock is at 3. Against Weatherspoon. Same exact shot, missing this time. And Carter will detonate out of backcourt and take it up for Miami. Finding Marley, back to Weatherspoon. Miami shooting 41%. As Carter caught it. A whistle away from the ball. And Patrick Ewing picks up his 4th foul of the game.
Right here, Alonzo Mourning does such an aggressive job of posting up. He initiates the contact. I don't know what Patrick can do right there. He was just standing behind Alonzo. I don't know how he can play defense.
Timeout. Well, this is the 4th consecutive year that the New York Knicks and Miami Heat have met in the playoffs. You can see the history of consecutive meetings in professional basketball going back to 1965 and 59 at the very bottom. The only 2 players that have played in every game in this vaunted New York-Miami playoff series. Chris Childs, who had just signed as a free agent from New Jersey 4 years ago with the New York Knicks, and Tim Hardaway, who had just joined this team after coming from Golden State.
Tim Hardaway just joined this team in the 3rd quarter of this game.
It's interesting putting Charles in. I thought maybe he was going to put him in earlier to try to quiet down Hardaway a little bit because of his energy level and how aggressive he is defensively.
Ewing is out of the game. Miami has not gotten a field goal in 4 minutes, and they don't get one there.
Well, and Charles did a good job. He covered a lot of people. He got out there and got a hand up in Dan's face.
Ewing playing with 4 fouls, now resting on the bench, and Alonzo with 4 fouls, playing on the floor.
Well, I think it might be a blessing. Get Patrick out of the game, get him a rest so he's fresh down the stretch. The way he's playing tonight, I want him 100% fresh down the stretch of this game.
Shot clock at 1. Look at the hustle again by Marcus Camby. Fighting for the loose ball, colliding with Dan Marley, careening out of bounds. Miami gets it back.
Well, he's extremely effective on the weak side, Kevin, the side opposite the basketball. You know, even going to the boards, even running down loose balls. His anticipation is unbelievable, and his quickness is just as unbelievable.
I think right now the key for New York, you know they're going to double team Alonzo. You know they're going to double team Mashburn. Keeping Miami off the offensive boards now while their defense is spread out is critical.
Carter spoon feeds Alonzo Mourning inside. And a New York Knicks foul. That's one of the things that he can do, Carter, so well. That's the 4th foul called on Camby.
Well, you know what's happening on that play is they're pushing the ball baseline, and the big man is so used to trapping on the pick and roll, he's not there for support for Carter. It happened when Hardaway beat Charlie Ward off the dribble. The defense is to keep him down to the baseline, and the big man has to be there for support.
So the Heat getting their first points in this quarter as you take a look at a Heat pad that the hobbled Tim Hardaway is resting his left foot on. It's sprained. The soft tissue of his left arch is sore. And Craig Sager told us moments ago when the playoffs are over, he'll be in a cast for over a month. You don't think this thing means something to him?
Well, basically, the way he's playing, all of those things don't mean anything because he's really rising above all of those things.
Here comes Childs.
Great
to Johnson. Can be out of hand on it, but Carter somehow gobbles up the rebound.
Well, Charles did his part. He penetrated and dropped it right in there. Camby again was on the weak side. They better put a body on him.
Jamal Mashburn. Top and try by Brown. Carter slithering inside and sneaking a rebound.
Well, and that's the problem with the small lineup they have out there. They're scrambling. If they can't get turnovers, they're going to have a mismatch on the boards on every possession. That time they got 2 touches.
Miami has missed their last 8 shots. Mourning trying to change it, and he can't. Camby the rebound. Foul. It's on Alonzo Mourning, and he's got 5.
Well, it's a very foolish foul on Alonzo's part. That was an emotional foul. He knew he was in a position to score. The ball was taken from him, then he got the position where he picked up a foul. He knows that himself by his expression.
Weatherspoon's going to come in and take his place, as Miami cannot buy a basket. They've missed 9 in a row.
Well, now with Mourning out of the game, I'd be tempted to bring in a Patrick. It'd be a good opportunity for him to get going on the low post right now.
I think, Kevin, they've got to go back to what they were doing, being patient, moving the ball, and driving the ball towards the basket.
Like the corkscrew move by the twirling Marcus Camby.
And without Alonzo in there to defend and to be the shot blocker in there, I think New York should continue to take the ball to the basket to expose that non-shot blocking defense by Miami.
Camby scores his first 2 points right there. Jamal Mashburn, 11 consecutive misses from the field for the Heat. Camby sets the screen. Childs tries to pry inside. A pass goes to Camby. And Larry Johnson somehow comes up with his 10th point tonight.
Well, then you may need a little more Hardaway out there. I think he better warm that foot up and come back in the game because they need him to settle this down. I mean, since he's been out of there, they've virtually had no field goals. You know, it's extremely important to get some leadership and some direction.
And these teams combining on a 3 of 17 shooting display in the 4th quarter. The screws are tightening, and we're tied at 66.
Well, you see the big 3, Houston, Sprewell, and Ewing right here in the point production. You notice that Houston's only got 9 field goal attempts. They're trying to play him more off the ball tonight, using Sprewell, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing as the initial offensive thrust, and hopefully Houston can get his shots in the secondary offense.
And let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Pat Riley told the team what he said before the game. Beat the Blues those times when we have trouble scoring. Attack, make plays, be strong, aggressive, and defensively, don't give them any open jumpers.
Miami has not gotten a field goal in the 4th quarter. Mashburn and Sprewell. 6.5 to play in regulation. Tied at 66. Nice screen for Carter by P.J. Brown. That's the first basket from the field with just under 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Well, good execution, but bad defensive execution. They're supposed to keep the ball down baseline. Chris Childs looked at Larry Johnson in disgust for not calling out the screen.
Oh, Sprewell creating chaos inside.
Well, that time he didn't plow in. He picked his spots, he penetrated, he pulled up, and took a sensible shot. And that was smart of him as opposed to plowing in.
Mashburn. Weatherspoon must make a decision. It's to go to Marley, and the shot clock down to 4 for Jamal Mashburn. Oh, what a shot by Mashburn.
Well, those are the kind of shots that win games right there. Big play right there. They had nothing going offensively, and he bailed them out.
18 points for Jamal Mashburn.
Pat Riley sees the desperation they're having in their half-court offense without Alonzo in the game, bringing him right back in the game.
Brown knocks it away. Miami's got a 4-on-2. Carter to Marley. Allen Houston picks up his third foul of the game.
Well, we got a great duel going on at the small forward position between Sprewell and Mashburn. Shot clock running down. Great defense by Sprewell. Great individual play. And then Sprewell has an advantage of quickness out on the perimeter against Mashburn. Takes him off the dribble and pulls up before he runs into the defensive that's helping on the collapse.
Well, I think the thing you got to watch out for, too, you got to watch out in Houston. Even though he's not going well, he's capable of exploding in this ball game at the end.
Miami by 4 with a timeout.
Iverson putting the move on Jackson. Allen Iverson taking it to the rim to get it going. Iverson for 3. And the 76ers with a 9-0 lead.
We have a Dynamite Friday coming up on TNT beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Indiana in Game 6 at Philadelphia. Then the three of us, along with Craig Sager, will be at Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. Miami has weathered the storm. They went 7.5 minutes. They went 11 consecutive shots with not a single shot going in from the field. But they've hit their last 3. They get that free throw right there. It's quieted Spike Lee, and they've got a 73-68 lead.
Well, and it's all their defense has kept them in the game, but they had a 9-point lead and a little bit of a cushion for some offensive lapses. The 3 big timely shots started by Carter's jumper on the pick and roll.
5 minutes to play. Sprewell. Saved by Carter, who is all over the floor.
Well, and that's what he's in there for. I mean, he's hustling and moving around and getting a lot of loose balls out there. But the defensive intensity is great at both ends of the floor. Everybody's hustling and running down loose balls.
Johnny's got 6 rebounds.
Well, and that's amazing because it shows that it's anticipation and the will to want to pick it up.
Driving here with the pirouette. And plucked out of midair by Patrick Ewing.
Well, great defensive help right there. Carter got caught in the air. Saw Camby. It got a little dark up there when he went up for the shot.
Houston has not scored a field goal since the second quarter. Allen Houston is stone cold. 3 of 9. This time it's Ewing. Way outside. Look at Dan Marlin. You see his face?
New York is a little out of sync offensively. They're not executing their offense very good. Charlie Ward's coming back in the game. Larry Johnson's coming back in their game. 2 of their best players at executing their half-court offense.
P.J. Brown with the bump into Camby. And Marcus Camby has picked up another foul. That is number 5.
Well, that's a danger point because he's such a great offside, weak side rebounder and shot blocker that you need him out there, and particularly when you have Patrick out there. He compensates a lot for Patrick's lack of mobility because of his back.
Be interesting to see what New York, last game, Coach, you talked about which guys sometimes are taking over this team. Patrick, I like it. Alonzo's got 5 fouls down low. I think he can create a double team or an easy shot for himself.
Well, particularly when you're coming down the stretch. A lot of people want to shoot the ball in the body of the game, but when you're coming down the stretch, you got to really find out who wants the basketball.
Sprewell picks up the foul right there for the New York Knicks. That came with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Spree has his 4th of the game.
You know, and the thing I like about this is, you know, the officials have called the game consistently, and they're calling that hand check. You either have to give him room and let him create a shot, or go double team him to keep you from getting to the free throw line. Mashburn, knowing how the officials are calling it, continues to be aggressive going to the hole.
Listen to this about Jamal Mashburn. In game 1 of this series, he went 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Over the last 2 games, he never even attempted a free throw. Tonight, he is 5 of 5 from the stripe.
Well, one thing he came out tonight, he started coming out, particularly after the first part of the game, driving to the basket. He's not going to get fouled on jump shots. He's going to get fouled on penetration.
And he's also not only got to the free throw line, but he's created a lot of opportunities by being aggressive and attacking the paint.
Well, just as this man has, Sprewell right here, because I like him with the ball in his hand because he's used good judgment, either scored or got the ball to other people.
Alonzo Mourning inhales just his 5th rebound tonight, but a big one right there.
Well, I like Sprewell. I like Patrick on the block still, getting down low. Sprewell has had a good game offensively, but if he's going to shoot jump shots, they have no chance for the offensive boards with no movement.
Mourning, Carter drives inside. Hands to Mourning, who lost it. Sprewell, 3 on 3, slashing and feeding to Ward. It's Houston who hasn't scored from the field since the 2nd quarter with 8 minutes remaining.
That's a great play by Charlie Ward right there. Good decision by Sprewell not to force the action. Kick out to Charlie. Charlie cross-court pass. Not an easy play to find Houston there.
Well, and that's the thing that Miami's got to be careful of. Because Houston has not been scoring, you have a tendency to forget it. But he's an explosive shooter, and you better be conscious of where he is on penetration.
Alonzo snaps it back to Mourning for 3. In the second half. And the Miami Heat leading by 7. We've been down this road before, this grudge match series between Miami and New York. New York coming off a huge win on Sunday. It set the stage for the biggest game of the series tonight. It's now the best of 3. Tonight is game 5. And the Miami Heat trailing early in this game by 10. Lead it now 77-70. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. It's Ward, the hero from Sunday, drilling a 3-point shot.
Great ball movement right there by New York. Coming out of a timeout again. Good execution. Larry Johnson making a great decision. Had the shot himself. Unselfishly hit Charlie Ward, who's been shooting the ball well.
Well, these are the statistics I want to know. I don't want to hear how much people made during the course of the game. I want to know when they made them. And this is why Charlie Ward has been so special. He steps up. This is step-up time for both teams.
Ward's got 12. He's 5 of 8 from the field. The shot clock here is down to 2. Marley from way outside. Dan Marley is a game forward.
Dan Marley pointed over at me because he's having flashbacks like Hardaway. That guy's made more big 3-point shots when I played with him in Phoenix than anybody on our team.
And you're talking about guts, Kevin. You're talking about both he and Hardaway are guys that are experiencing certain pains and soreness, but these guys know how to win, and they're making big plays at the proper time.
4 fouls now on Jamal Mashburn. 1:30 to play in regulation. It's Miami by 7. Dan Marley has scored 9 of the last 10 for Miami, as you see Patrick Ewing carving his niche inside for 2. It's a 5-point game.
Great execution and great pass by Sprewell.
Mashburn. Mourning. Rebound by Charlie Ward. Miami back nicely on defense. But Houston tries to penetrate. Rejected by Mourning inside. And a Miami foul.
You going to call it on PJ or call it on Alonzo?
We're going to call it on Mourning, and he's gone. That was number 6 on Alonzo Mourning.
Big call right there. Good job by Houston going strong to the basket, initiating the contact with his body. Could have been a foul on either one of them.
Mourning has 18 points and 5 rebounds. Now, the officials are saying it was on Mourning, and he's gone.
But the interesting thing about it, Alonzo tried to hide. He stood on the foul line and tried to look nonchalant just to act as if they wouldn't see him. But the officials know who made the foul.
That's where PJ should be raising his hand right away. Yeah, PJ does a good job here. He goes in, and PJ really is the one that gets more of the contact and first contact right there. And right there, PJ hammers him across the arms. And then PJ later, he tries to take the foul. He tries to tell the officials, that was me.
Now, Miami with Mourning gone, with P.J. Brown, Bruce Bowen, Anthony Carter, Dan Marley, and Jamal Mashburn. And Houston drills his first free throw. 11 for Houston in the game. Under a minute to play in Game 5. Miami's lead moments ago at 7 is cut down to 4.
Well, New York's done a good job of keeping their poise after those 2 big three-pointers. They just keep attacking the basket, trying to score every time down and stay in this game and have a chance. And they certainly have a chance with 55 seconds to go.
Knicks from the free throw line, 7 of 10. Miami from the free throw line, 16 of 21. Marley driving inside. Carter flips it over to Bowen for 2. Bowen hits his first basket tonight.
Well, and that's a perfect example of an extra pass and a guy who just uses guts and puts it up.
And Marley before him.
Well, these guys are 10 for 45 coming into the series. Knocked down 3 huge ones in the row. They've been waiting for that this entire series.
There's a timeout with Miami on top, 83-77. This Miami-New York Knicks series, this circus will move to Madison Square Garden on Friday, preceded by Indiana, Philadelphia. We have danced the same dance for 4 years with the Heat and the Knicks. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy told his team, we need a score. We need it badly. He set up a play basically for Patrick Ewing at the baseline. He said, remember, Zoe is not in the game. We got to go to Patrick. Kevin.
Danny, what do you see?
Well, that might be too late. They're down. They only got 1 timeout left, and they're down 2 possessions at least.
Sprewell almost coughed it away. Vacuumed in by Houston. It's Ewing flipping it out to Ward. Ewing inside collides with Brown with the whistle and a foul called in the lane.
Well, it took him a little bit too long to get the ball down to Patrick.
Brown has 3 fouls.
Right here, Sprewell tries to beat him off the dribble. Does a good job of creating, but they did a good job of stripping. Anthony Carter got the loose ball. New York keeps it alive, but they just made him use way too much time off the clock.
Ewing 1 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. Ewing got in some early foul trouble. Nonetheless, his New York team led by 10 points early in the game. Then Miami took their first lead in this contest late in the second quarter. Miami was led by as many as 9. Ewing gets the second there. Full court pressure and a wisely called timeout by veteran Dan Marley.
Very good timeout by Marley. If you can't get the ball into a free throw shooter's hands, it's a high percentage. Call timeout. You got plenty to use.
Miami by 5.
NBA Playoffs 2000 on TNT. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the NBA. Is it in you? By the legendary Jeep Grand Cherokee with available Quadra Drive, our most advanced four-wheel drive system ever. By AT&T One Rate 7-cent plan. One simple rate all day, every day. By IBM. Are you ready for e-business? And by Nike.
Miami and New York have played 21 playoff games over the last 4 years. New York has won 11. Miami has won 10. But, Danny, look at the offense after timeouts for tonight for both teams. They're so similar in so many ways.
Right, getting more than one point per possession coming out of timeouts is great, and they're so even. It just goes to show you not only are the players even, the coaching duel is even. They're both doing a fantastic job at getting points in a very difficult situation coming out of timeouts.
Tim Hardaway has come in for the first time in 2 games in the fourth quarter to play.
Well, it's not to say that you put it back in because Timmy is a good foul shooter. He's a guy with a lot of experience who can make decisions. This is your experience that he's putting back in the game again.
Ewing just gave a quick wink to Hardaway, saying this is what it's all about. Brown quickly fouled by Camby. And Camby is gone. That was his 6th foul of the game. It comes with 20.8 seconds to play in regulation. Brown will be making his first appearance at the free throw line tonight for Miami.
P.J. Brown's had a nice game. They've been double-teaming Mashburn, double-teaming Alonzo Mourning. He's done a good job of keeping the ball alive on the glass. Works hard at the defensive end, knocked down a few jump shots. A well-rounded game for P.J.
Well, he did a tremendous job on the offensive boards.
That was P.J. Brown's in every playoff game this year for Miami. Only his 4th free throw shot he's taken. And his first miss.
Well, it's interesting, and Riley takes Hardaway right out. He put him in to inbound the ball. He's a good free throw shooter, and his decision-making is important. Now he's got his defensive plan coming back in with Boyd.
They need 3 points right here. They got it. They only have 2 possessions. They only have 1 timeout left.
Chris Childs for 3. Oh, what a shot by Childs. And a quick foul called on New York as Mashburn got it. We've got a 3-point game with 13.2 seconds to play.
We still got some time left here. New York only has 1 timeout, so Van Gundy knows that he's more than 1 possession behind. He didn't want to waste a timeout right there. So here, the same situation, 3-point lead. If Mashburn makes more than 1, they can't afford to use their timeout. They have to push the ball up the court.
Yeah, Riley was really upset that they got a 3. He yelled out on the floor at Boyd and Carter because probably in the huddle he was telling them, let him have anything but a 3 at this point.
Mashburn from the line tonight, 5 of 6, 19 points.
Big free throw by Mashburn right there.
Miami has taken 12 more free throw shots tonight than New York.
And they're making them. They need another 3.
Quickly, street out for 3. Rebound Marley held by Childs, 7 seconds left. Both teams came into tonight saying this was the most important game of the series.
I agree 100%. 84% in the history has shown that. I really believe that because it's so tough to win back-to-back games in this series, but I do believe we're going 7. I think we're going to have a great Game 6 in New York. Coming back to Miami is going to decide it.
Danny saying that neither team has been able to win consecutive games in now 10 straight games dating back to last year.
Well, in this game, everything was built up to be. Nobody folded their tent. These guys competed from jump ball to the end of the ball game.
Charlie Ward, that was deflected. It's over, and Miami has won. Let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, I have with me Dan Marley and Tim Hardaway. All they did was take over the game in the second half. 10 points by Dan Marley in the fourth quarter, 10 by Tim in the third. First of all, we talked to the coaching staff. They weren't sure you were even going to start that second half. What did you do to convince them, and why were you looking so fresh and so effective?
Well, I think they saw the sweat on me when I came out to warm up beginning of the second half. And he looked at me. I said, I'm ready. And he said, all right, well, let's go. First couple of times down was rocky. And I got myself going, started making some shots, started making some things happen on the offensive end. And, you know, and it went from there.
Everybody said other guys have to step up. Danny Ainge said it's about time Marley did something in this series. You guys weathered an 0 for 11 stretch, 7.5 minutes without a field goal. How were you able to do that?
Well, like you said, somebody's got to step up, and you know, we made good plays, we kicked the ball, and I hit some shots. But you know, my main concern is the series is to play hard defense on Allen. He's a heck of a player, and I want to stop him. And whatever I can do on the offense end is great. And I know everybody's got to step up, but you know, I got to make sure I just play hard defense and hit the shots when they're mine.
You made 9 out of 10 points during one stretch with 3 3-point plays. 2 on the threes, then the drive, and the great assist by Carter, and you made the free throw.
Well, I don't want to hear Danny talk anymore. I hear him enough during the summer, so I had to shut him up. But, you know, like I said, in these kind of series, somebody's got to step up. There's going to be no secrets out there. You know, Mash and Tim and Alonzo are our go-to guys, but you always got to have somebody. It's been AC, it's been Tim, and it's Clarence, and tonight I happen to make a few big shots.
Everybody talks about Game 5 being the pivotal game. Nobody in the last couple of years has won 2 games in a row. You go to New York. What are your thoughts now on that game?
We know they're going to come out. It's do or die for them. We're thinking about going up there and closing out. That's our mentality. We got to go up there, play hard. We got to do the things that we've been doing when we win games. Let's go to the hole, not turn the ball over, and make a great effort on the defensive end and win the ball game.
All right, great job by both of you. Congratulations. Let's go back now to Kevin.
Okay, Craig, thank you very much. The three-point shooting of Dan Marley. He had 10 fourth-quarter points. Huge in Miami. And that ties Danny Ainge for 5th all-time as he points to Danny right there in the playoffs in 3-point field goals made. What a great Friday night we've got on TNT. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 6, Indiana against Philadelphia. Game 6 from the Garden. The Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. Miami leads this series 3-2. Once again, the final score, 87-81 Miami. Now for John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager, and our entire crew, including producer Mike Brooks and director Lonnie Dale, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Miami. After a quick break, Ernie Johnson and the gang will bring you highlights and reaction from this game on Inside the NBA. Another great chapter written in the tremendous history of New York and Miami. We'll see you Friday at the Garden.